Hi everybody, so today I'm going to be doing some reviews for you. As a film student, I study films. I study the way that they're made, the way that they're interpreted, all the different types of genres of film. That means that I should probably go to the movies and go watch some to get film educated. Wahaha. In the past month, I have been to the movie theaters 5 whole times to go see a whole bunch of different films. I went twice by myself, and then yesterday, on Saturday, I went to go see 3 movies with my sister, and I had a great time. So I'm going to be doing a review of all of them, and I'm going to give them each a minute, that way this video doesn't last forever. So the first movie I want to go see is Les Mis. The second movie I want to go see is Silver Linings Playbook. There we go. The third movie I went to go see, and these are the ones that I went to go see yesterday with my sister, are Safe Haven, Beautiful Creatures, and Warm Bodies. I had a great time at each and every single one of them, and I'm going to tell you why, starting with Les Mis. If you don't already know, Les Mis was originally a book by Victor Hugo, and then it was turned and adapted into a play, a musical, that has been on Broadway and has traveled all over the world. It has been turned into a movie starring Hugh Jackman, Russell Crowe, Anne Hathaway, Amanda Seyfried, and Eddie Redmayne. It was pretty good, I have to say. I really enjoyed it. My favorite part would have to be the costumes, the makeup, and the sets. That is what I definitely recommend you go see it for. If you've already seen the musical, I don't know how it compares to the musical versions, but I think it did a really great job. I loved seeing all of the old sets and how the characters and the actors would move around them. Being from like a stage performance background, or at least partaking in it, I could really appreciate how each and every shot was filmed to show how the actions of the characters, how they incorporated their unique body movements, and it all fit into like the script. But the scene that I'm talking about is Helena Bonham Carter scene when she was moving around like the local tavern and she was pickpocketing people. And it was really interesting to see because all of her body movements were so swift, and it was perfect. For that reason, I love that. So if you're really interested in going to go see it, I'm pretty sure it's out of the theaters by now, but definitely go pick it up on DVD or go rent it or go see it somehow, because it is definitely a film that you should be seeing. The next film that I went to go see is Silver Linings Playbook, and I thought it was excellent as well. It is nominated for 8 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor, and Best Actress, and I really hope they win it because it was an incredible movie. It was kind of a depressing movie in a sense because it was dealing with the topic of mental issues, but the way that it was directed and the way that it was filmed and the feelings and the soundtrack and everything just combined, it was awesome. It stars Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence as the main 2 characters, and Robert De Niro as Bradley Cooper's father. My favorite scene overall would have to be all the scenes that Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence were rehearsing for their big dance recital, which, if you really want to know about the movie, Bradley Cooper gets Jennifer Lawrence to deliver a message to his wife, but she doesn't actually end up giving it to him, and their payback is that he has to dance with her in this upcoming competition. And to put an entire twist on it, Bradley Cooper's father, Robert De Niro, makes a bet with one of his friends to win all this kind of money so that he can make a restaurant, and he bets that if the Eagles win the next football game and Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence get over a 5 at their dancing tournament, that Robert De Niro's friend has to give him double the amount of money that Robert De Niro lost to him in a bet. So that was interesting. If you're wondering, I'm going to spoil it for you. They do get that money in the end, and they get over a 5, and it's super exciting, and in the end they fall in love. Given their age differences, I think it was kind of a stretch, but it was a really good movie, and definitely go see it if you can, if it is still in theaters. Third movie that I saw this month is Safe Haven. This is an adaptation movie on the popularized novel by Nicholas Sparks. One of his other ones that you probably know is The Notebook, as well as The Last Song, my personal favorite by Nicholas Sparks. And it was really good. Julianne Hough and Josh Duhamel are the 2 main actors, as well as, I'm not sure of her actual name, but she plays Robin on How I Met Your Mother, and she did a fantastic job in this movie. The plot of this movie is Julianne Hough's character is running away from an abusive ex who is a cop and whose father is a judge. At least that's what my sister told me. They didn't play on that in the movie. And she's running away because she can't get away from him, and she has help from a neighbor. And so she gets onto a Greyhound bus, and she stops off at one of the stops along the way to Atlanta and finds this little cozy town right on the coast, and she falls in love with it right away, and she decides to stay there. So she gets a house, she gets a job, and she meets this guy, Josh Duhamel, who owns the general store and has 2 kids. Now, his wife recently passed away from cancer, and so everything happens. Julianne Hough, Josh Duhamel get together, and they really like each other. And then towards the end, the abusive husband finds her, and he's like an alcoholic and gets like fired from his job. Anyway, he comes back and he finds her, and apparently in the book, according to my sister, they wrote it so that when he finds her, she's really scared. But in the movie, she ends up being with one of Josh Duhamel's kids, Lexi, the little girl. She's so cute. And so he ends up pouring like gasoline all over the general store and then lighting it on fire and trying to hurt Julianne Hough, but in the end she shoots him because he has a gun, and the way it's pointing it like kills him. Anyway, he's dead in the end, and then Julianne Hough and Josh Duhamel get back together. Huge plot twist. Julianne Hough makes a friend named Joe, and at the very end, Josh Duhamel gives Julianne Hough a letter from his deceased wife, because that was in the general store and it was saved because it was in a metal desk, and it turns out to be a letter from Joe, Julianne Hough's friend, who turns out to be a ghost and the mother of the children. But she approves of Julianne Hough being in the relationship with Josh Duhamel, and everything turns out great. So it was a great movie. Definitely a chit flick. Not a tearjerker though. The 4th movie I went to go see this month is Beautiful Creatures, and it is based on a book, Beautiful Creatures, by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, and it was a really good movie. It was a long movie, over 2 hours, but it is definitely really good. So I have not read this book yet, although it's super thick, and I plan on reading it this week because it is my reading week. But it is really good. It's based on this girl, Lena, who I don't know I don't know who plays her. And she is a 15-year-old girl who is a kind of witch, but they call them casters. And when every caster turns 16, that's when they get their full powers. And for a female, they don't get to choose which side they're on, either good or evil. It's dependent upon their true nature, and it gets chosen for them. The other main character in this book is Ethan White. He lives in Gatlin, South Carolina, and as he has his entire life. He lives with his father, and his mother has passed away, and he's trying to get out of this relationship with this girl, Emily, when he falls in love with Lena, who just moved into town. He finds out that she is a witch and kind of loves her and accepts her for that and wants to be with her. Now, throughout the entire movie, I found that the relationship progressed really fast, kind of like the relationship did in Twilight. Like, it lasted a week and they were already super in love. And that's the case of their relationship too. They are super in love, and so you find out about this curse about Lena through her uncle, and apparently, according to her uncle and other people in her family, the curse is one of Lena's ancestors was in love with a mortal who was killed in the Civil War, and so she tried to revive him and bring him back to life using a forbidden spell, thus taking away her soul but bringing him back to life. And then she ended up killing him right there too, which is pointless. But she was given not the option to be good anymore, I guess that's the best way to put it. So she was turned evil, and that was passed down along the line of all the other witches. And since Lena is a descendant, she has this curse that might turn her evil. And you find out in the very end that when she turns into a caster, or when she becomes a full caster with all of her powers, she is half good, half evil. And the best part about it is you can tell because of their eyes like light up this like gold flicker color, and it's really cool. It's in the commercial. Emmy Rosam's lights like light up gold. It's really cool. So in the end, she only has one eye lighting up. So yeah, definitely watch that. I want to find out more about the storyline. I'm guessing that they're missing a whole lot of the information from the book, so I'm going to read this one as well. I think there's a second book in the series. Maybe a third one, I'm not too sure, but I will definitely go check that out. And I think I'm going to do a book review on this in a few weeks. The final movie that I went to go see, is Warm Bodies. This is a zombie movie. You've probably seen the commercial. It starred Nicholas Hoult and this other girl who looks like a mix between Hayden Panettiere and a really young, catch that kid, Kristen Stewart. I couldn't get over the fact that she looked like Kristen Stewart. Had all the same mannerisms, the same teeth and everything. My sister saw more of Hayden Panettiere, but I saw Kristen Stewart, which is kind of annoying, because Kristen Stewart isn't the best actress in the world. Sorry. Anyway, the movie was pretty good. It was based around this guy. His name was R, but he couldn't remember it, so they just called him R, because that's what he thought his name started with. And he goes out one day with a whole clan of other zombies to go collect brains so that he can survive the zombie before turning into a Boney, which is like, it looks like a Dementor from Harry Potter, but they're like on 4... It's really weird. He goes out looking for brains when comes across a group of teenagers who are still mortal. They haven't been turned into zombies yet, and their goal is to collect medicine to bring back to the other humans who have not been turned, and they don't end up doing it. Nicholas Hoult ends up killing the main girl's boyfriend, and he likes her so much and he falls in love with her, love at first sight, that he decides to bring her back to this airport that he's been living in. And when she goes with him, they kind of start this relationship, and as it forms, he becomes less of a zombie, more of a human, and the rest of the movie, it's kind of her trying to figure out how to live with this guy and how he's like changing, and she tries to bring him to her father, who is one of he's like the mayor of the town. And at the very end, one of the bad guys, one of the humans with one of the guns, like the military people, end up shooting Nicholas Hoult, or R, and he's bleeding, which zombies and corpses don't do that, so they find that they're turning into humans. And then also at the end, the corpses start fighting the bonies, which I guess the humans hadn't seen before, so then they took it as a good sign that corpses are okay and they can come live with us. That's pretty much the entire movie. Again, it is a romance, so R and the girl Julie, they fall in love at the very end. I don't know why I didn't remember her name earlier. They fall in love at the end, and everything is okie dokie at the end. Those are the movies that I reviewed. If you'd like to see more of these, well then you're gonna have to wait, because I don't plan on going to the movies for another little bit. Anyway, sit tight, and I will see you guys in a couple days. Bye!